This week on Mississippi Roads, we'll head down south to Kiln on a moonshine trail. We'll look inside Mississippi's catfish industry and learn why we're called the catfish capital of the world. Then we'll roll along with some skateboarders making their own way in Mississippi communities.
Down Mississippi Road, Mississippi Road.
Hi, I'm Walt Grayson. Welcome back to Mississippi Roads. It looks like we're in a very remote location, but in all honesty, we're inside the city limits of Jackson. This is Mays Lake inside the Fleurs Bluff State Park. We're about a quarter mile from Lakeland Drive, one of Jackson's busiest streets. Right down the Pearl River from us was one of Jackson's busiest areas back in Prohibition days. They called it the Gold Coast. That's where you went to get your liquor. But the Gold Coast couldn't hold a candle to the town of Kiln in South Mississippi. Back in that day, Kiln was a bootlegger's paradise. But a long time before Brett Favre ever put Kiln on the map, bootleggers already had it there. Author Al Saucier tells us the story and gives us the tour.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to Kiln, Mississippi, moonshine capital of the nation in 1910. I have moonshine tours in Kiln, Mississippi. I've written 7 books on the 300 years of history of moonshine in Kiln, Mississippi. I also have tours that match the book, and this is all about old-time moonshine in Kiln, Mississippi. Moonshine started back in 1699. Moonshine came from Europe, and our families brought it over here. There's 15 core families that brought moonshine into Hancock County. All the stories that I'll tell you today, they're not fiction. These are actually based on true life. This particular building you're looking at was built in 1915 as a moonshine supply warehouse by the 3 Curette brothers, George, Fred, and Camille. And they had friends up in Chicago in need of a boxcar load of moonshine every month. And it all happened right here with this building right here. Moonshine started here in Kiln on a smaller basis in 1840 when all the sawmill workers got here needing moonshine. But as the years went on, we got on up to 1900, 1950, it got to be a big operation. This moonshine operation was in business less than 10 years. And what happened is the revenues came in with 3 sets of handcuffs and put George and Fred and Camille into jail on a technicality. And the technicality they got them on was moonshining. We're standing at the actual spot of the moonshine boxcar sidetrack. It was right here across this way. And it came right into here, and they parked the moonshine boxcar right on a spur right here, which ended in those woods. And then, after a month, we'd ship all that out as a boxcar load of moonshine whiskey for friends in Chicago. We're down at Kiln, Mississippi at the 1915 sawmill site for Edward Hyde's Lumber Company. Now, sawmill brought moonshine customers, thousands of them, to Kiln, Mississippi, so sawmills are very important to us. This particular firebox here was the base for a 10,000-gallon steam boiler, and it supplied steam for everything in the sawmill. The sawmill ran from here a mile that way and 2 miles this way. So it was a huge, big operation. All these thousands of sawmill workers needed moonshine whiskey, and so we were here to make them happy. Years ago, one of the main characters in my book had his whiskey still across a river 20 feet inland, okay, at a flowing well. Everybody wants to have the still over where people can't find them. You know, there's no road there, you can't walk to there or anything. You got to get there by boat. And most moonshiners come in at night by boat. This Log Pine Island here has had a whiskey still on it for way over 100 years, probably 150 years. It mostly had wood-fired whiskey stills in it. And the reason it had a whiskey still because there's a flowing well in the middle of the island. And every whiskey still has to have cold water and flowing well to make good whiskey. We're downtown Kiln, Mississippi at the world famous Broke Spoke. Over here in this part of the Broke Spoke is a Jack Block's whiskey still. The first thing that you have with a whiskey still, of course, is a barrel to ferment the mash in, and then you take the buck out of it, the liquid, you know, leave the grain in it, and you pour it into the cooker. Then you fire up the cooker and make whiskey steam. Now, this still is a very nice still. It's got a cooker, it's got a thumper, which is a doubler, and it has an authentic Jack Daniels barrel for the condenser coil. Now the whiskey steam comes out of the top of the cooker and goes over to the little barrel. The little barrel is known as a thumper, and the reason they call it a thumper is because you can hear it from way off over yonder going thump, thump, thump as it operates. Now the condenser coil has cold water running over that steam. When the cold water hits the steam, it turns it back to a liquid, and moonshine comes out this money piece here. This is the jug here. That's where the money piece dumps into it. There's a lot of stories that can be told about what happens when you start drinking that good moonshine whiskey. Over the good old days, huh?
Wonder if there's any catfish in that lake. Oh, who am I kidding? All I'm worried about is the number of catfish on my plate. You know, catfish has become a big industry in Mississippi. For exactly how big, let's travel up to the Delta.
Right now we're at 5 Mile Fisheries is what we call this operation over here, which is part of Simmons Catfish. They'll cut it with that loading boat, a couple of men, pull the net up, squeeze the fish tight, and then load them up. We have a schedule that goes through the week, and we'll know each day we're on the schedule for X amount of pounds. Today, we're on the schedule for 25,000 pounds. It's feeding and maintenance and grass cutting. There's a lot that goes in it.
Catfish has always been a popular local item all up and down the Mississippi River drainage system. It was so popular, that's kind of what gave some people the idea. Said, well, look, we know there's a market for this product. Let's see if we can find a way to culture that. Late 2015, there's probably about 70,000 acres nationwide, and we've got about 37,000 acres in Mississippi. We're on the pond facility here at the Delta Research and Extension Center. This is the largest aquaculture research facility, certainly in the U.S., if not the world. We've got probably 300 acres here. All 300 acres, except for what's being reconstructed, is in some type of experiment. Okay, thanks. This is kind of the technology that was thought of and tested out here. We just keep adding enough aerators till we can hold the kind of level of oxygen in our pond. You're not making money if you're not feeding fish. So we're trying to get feed into them every day.
This is our clean building. This is where we maintain all of our research stocks. These fish are used for various programs and research, fish health work, nutrition. This is really the only place I ever wanted to go, because it's right here in the middle of the industry, and it gives you a great opportunity to have impact.
One thing that's different about catfish production in Mississippi is that we value add so much to that product because we build the equipment here, we process it here, our feed is manufactured here. So you look at that kind of economic impact, it's a very important component in Mississippi.
Early 70s, started growing catfish. Sold my first catfish in 76. I really didn't know what I was getting into. We started off with just a few acres of water, seeing if we could grow catfish, what it took to grow them. And then from that, we just expanded to where we are today.
We brought in about 70,000 pounds of catfish today. And we're going through our process at Simmons, cleaning the fish, skinning them, filleting them, coming to trim, ice pack, frozen, and then on the delivery truck to grocery stores and restaurants across the country. We have about 180 employees here at Simmons. Most of them have worked longer than I've been here, 5 years or more. A lot of our supervisors have been here 20 to 30 years, so each one of these people behind me are an integral process in our operation. We're doing 70 to 80,000 pounds a day, 365 days a year during the week, Monday through Friday.
In 1980, there was likely 10,000 acres in the country, and by 1990, there was over 150,000 acres in Mississippi alone. So pretty rapid growth, but with the rapid growth, there were some problems. Our industry actually shrank from 2005 to where we are today, but producers are much more productive, higher quality catfish now. What I say to these people, if you're not willing to spend part of your paycheck to buy this product, we're not doing a good job.
I grew up on Hayden Street, and being a small town, it's always, everybody knows you and you know everybody. That's what makes the festival so original. It really does. I was at the first Catfish Festival 41 years ago. It kind of blossomed and grew into what it is now. They've got a map with the stick pins of people, where they're from. We have people from all over the world.
All over the place, yeah. They come from everywhere. Matter of fact, we have the name of being the catfish capital of the world.
The Catfish Festival is always on the first Saturday of April, so we have good weather.
They've always had the Miss Catfish, and they appear at different places during the year to promote the catfish industry.
We wanted to have country music represented, rock and roll represented, the blues, and it was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Had a good day today.
It's a lot like a homecoming when people come, so it brings back a lot of people.
And you'll be full when you leave.
People in Mississippi have averaged eating almost 5 pounds per capita.
And you can cook it in so many different ways.
Deep fried, 3 to 5 ounce fillets.
Stuffed catfish was wonderful.
We grill it a lot. We make gumbo, make sandwiches. It's certainly a great fish that could be enjoyed any place. When we first started, growing fish was, new to us, but it wasn't as difficult as it is now. We have people growing catfish now in other countries and importing them. We are regulated more now than we were. Now it's just more to it.
We have rules in Mississippi that says if you're selling catfish in a restaurant, you have to say right there on the menu, we proudly serve U.S. farm-raised catfish. That's something we'd kind of like to see, you know, nationwide.
I think the future's bright. I think it's a great product. We're going to focus on good quality and the people that appreciate that.
Right now, catfish business looks good. It looks really good. If we can really educate people as to the benefit of eating American-raised catfish. And a lot more people are seeing the significance and the value of doing that.
Mississippians love community. Sometimes that community is a place. It could be a shared faith. Sometimes it's a shared passion. Now, for instance, skateboarders find community in sharing a sport with no winners or losers. And yet, it's exhilarating and challenging all at the same time. And still relaxing, too. Take a look.
Skateboarding's given me so much. I owe skateboarding my entire life. It's made me who I am, and I think the way I think because of skateboarding. I look at the way the world is because of skateboarding.
Community and camaraderie, it's always been a big thing in skateboarding, because especially when it came out, it's always been something that's kind of been looked down upon, and you know, it's always more fun to do things with other people. But yeah, you can feed off each other's energy and stuff, and somebody's trying something, you encourage them, and it's like it just makes it more fun.
A lot of us are like that. It dictates your life, and it becomes your life.
In 1968, a lot of bad stuff happened in my life. My older brother committed suicide. I became a diabetic, and I had to have some way to get myself away from that, even if just for a little while. Skateboarding played an instrumental part in getting me through that, or making me want to stick around long enough to get through that.
Our patriarch of Hernando Skates, Edward Pigeon, the man who we named the park after, you know, it's why we call this place Pigeon Park. He's retired, living on disability, old surfer, really awesome guy. So he finds out that there was the plan for this big Renaissance park or whatever, and there was, in the beginning, there was no skate park in the plan. So then Ed says, all right, if you guarantee us the space, we're gonna go ahead and fund it, we're gonna get it built, and when it's done, we'll just turn it right over to the parks department.
There are a lot of young people that are marginalized because of stuff beyond their control that happens in their life. And people don't know how to handle that, so they just kind of abandon it. And we're not like that. If you get involved and you stick with it, you're gonna learn how to get up from a fall, and you're gonna learn how to keep going. I don't think there's anything any more important than that anybody could learn from anything they're doing.
For us, it kind of is kind of cultish, you know? We want everybody to be around. I want to indoctrinate you, and your children most of all, with how fun skateboarding can be. We let the skaters who were building the park build something that they wanted to ride, and by doing that, we came out with a gem. I mean, we have a world-class skate park at the end of a dirt road in Mississippi, and it's one of the coolest places, you know, I think I've ever been able to hang out and skate. The more places we get like this, where we get kids out here having fun together, interacting, you know, not doing this, you know, off the couch, off the video game. That's a really, really important thing. You know, you hear a lot about vibe, the vibe in skateboarding, the vibe in our scene, you know, our little group here. Our vibe is all about fun.
You learn loyalty, you learn commitment, and you love it, and this is what becomes of it, you know? So we are in the perfect location for a skate park. We're right outside of downtown Jackson at Monument Street, which turns into High Street. There's an exit right off the highway, leads right here. You have a beautiful view of downtown Jackson right behind me. We got trains with some revolving art gallery that comes by here multiple times a day. It's awesome, you know, it's inspiring. And it couldn't be a better spot. Just whenever we have enough money to pour some concrete, we all come out here and come mix concrete and dump it all in on a Saturday or Sunday, and by the next week you got something new to skate. The slab, you know, the city has absolutely nothing to do with it, so there's nothing standing in our way, so to speak. It's the community can come out here and build and give the kids something to do and give people something to do, the opportunity to come work or skate or ride their bikes on it or rollerblade, whatever, you know.
Really, it's just, you know, us pulling together money. I got $20 this week. Someone else might have $20, come together, see how much concrete we can get with how much money we have, and then we see what we can pour.
We can cry about not having a skate park, but just as easy, we can build our own skate park. And there's a bunch of people that, just in the community, that want to see good happen in Jackson, and so they'll come help us.
We can cross any line you can draw in the sand. And that's something that we pride ourselves on doing. Gender, age, socioeconomic standing, your religion, your nationality, your gender identity, any of that stuff goes right out the window when we bring out our skateboards.
1, 2, 3, go. All right.
Well, that's all the time we have for this show. If you'd like information about anything you've seen, remember you can always contact us at mpbonline.org/Mississippi Roads. And while you're at it, like our Mississippi Public Broadcasting Facebook page. Till next time, I'm Walt Grayson. I'll be seeing you on Mississippi Roads.
Down Mississippi Road, Mississippi Road.
Mississippi Roads is made possible in part by the generous support of viewers like you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Walt Grayson. You know, we really enjoy bringing you Mississippi Roads every week. We appreciate you watching it. And we really appreciate those of you who support Mississippi Public Broadcasting, because your support of MPB not only helps programs like ours stay on the air, but other MPB productions. Your contributions support everything from MPB original documentaries to MPB radio shows, to MPB's literacy outreach programs in homes and schools statewide, to programs like our reading services for the blind and our emergency communication services during hurricanes and other disasters. You see, we do a lot of MPB, and we depend on you to help us do it. If you'd like to contribute now, please go to our website, mpbonline.org, and click Donate Now in the top right corner. Because when you do that, you're helping MPB help all Mississippians. Because like we say, Mississippi is our mission.